Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, how are you? Yes, I am here and I appreciate all who are going to join me today. My name is Tiger Bell Watkins. Those of you that know me know me. I'm going to put this up right quick and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. I am excited to share with you those of you who are about to start a wonderful journey. Yes. Those of you that are about to start this wonderful journey, welcome. I am here to help you make the best of your journey. I am Tiger Bell Watkins. Many of you know me around the city. I am from this wonderful place, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I am a traveler. Oh, I shouldn't do that again. I'm a traveler. Um, you are here because you are interested in finding out how to um, have your trip be the best, be the most safe, hydrating, be the most safe and successful. We do not want you to waste your money. We do not want you to waste your time and your effort. Can you all hear me? Let me know. I'm turning the volume up just in case. All right, so I have been blessed to be able to travel ever since I was a young girl. So I am from here, but I believed in Martin Luther King's wonderful speech. I have a dream speech to where we are to be judged by the content of our character, and so I wanted to see what was out there. And I love people. I have been blessed to without very much money. So to travel to many places. I'm on my third passport. Um, and I've done these travels with a budget in mind. I've done these travels, some of them singular by myself, and I've also traveled with my children and my family. And so the information that I endeavor to share with you will have cost in mind. It will have your safety in mind. It will have your children in mind. All right. So I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of both. Um, we're going to have, um, I am going to have information at the same time regarding coming to the United States as well as going to different places in Africa. And I'm going to use the old fashioned notebook, guys. I like notes. So, regarding first traveling, I am a woman of color in the United States of America, and I often consider myself a guest when I'm traveling outside of the US. As a guest, I know how to act. As a guest, I keep in mind I am a guest, but I also keep in mind where I'm going. I also keep in mind the culture. I also keep in mind the landscape. I also keep in mind that in every place where I am going as a United States citizen, as soon as I open my mouth, as soon as I say hello, if I am not speaking their language, then there is going to be certain information that is automatically going to be given. Um, Unfortunately, if there is unrest in my country, the United States, has caused unrest where I'm going, you may, as a visitor, feel some of that unrest. Be considerate where you're going. Even if you're going to some place like the motherland as a woman of color. No, I did not get to show up as I'm, old cousin from around the corner. You do not get to show up like you are familiar. You are a visitor, even if you have found in your ancestry DNA like I did, that I have 13% Nigerian, 13% Cameroonian. That don't mean I get to just go and show up and knock on the door. When I go to Cameroon, I go understanding the culture, the religion, very important. I don't go as the American. Oh, hold on. Do y'all want to know what I had on earlier? Stay right there. Oh, yeah, because I can show up like this. Ooh, we can get turned up. Yes, I can come fabulous. I can come with all of that, right? Oh, yes. That's nice. But if the culture is quiet, then you should probably reduce your voice. You should probably make sure you're not cursing. You should probably be mindful of who's around you. Slow it down a little bit. Yes. That's very important, is being a good visitor. Being a good visitor, you pay attention to the surroundings. Okay, so also, if you are coming to America, America is not wild. America is not that place where you can say whatever you want. America is not that place where you can do what you want. Same as when I, as an American, go someplace else and I decide that I want to start sharing in the new culture. What happens? I start speaking. So when you come to America and we realize that you're not American and you start doing certain things, it kind of gets on our nerves too. Our elders get irritated just like your elders would. No, we tolerate our silly. Just like in your culture, you tolerate your silly people. And same as we do here. In every culture, on every continent, there is a certain understanding that as a visitor, you won't understand and get to see, because we're good hosts. And we keep our dirt in the closet like everyone else. So when you come to America, take a look. Because right now, it looks bad. We're going through a couple of things that don't look good, right? We're going through a couple of things. One of our citizens hurt a few of us. We are so sad about that loss. And I'm sad for that gentleman who came here, learned, and got and still felt that he needed to hurt his neighbors. I feel bad for that. I feel bad for that loss. But America is our landscape and our citizens. And in America, let me see. I found this video. I'm going to use YouTube. Wonders of America. So, not only is our landscape awesome, but also our people. Yes.
The United States, a land where nature unveils its grandeur.
Yes, the United States has wonderful landscape. But more than that, it's easy to see how the landscape can mesmerize you, but our people, our culture, our food. We really aren't that dangerous. I know it looks bad right now. Yes, it looks bad right now. But when I looked up the statistics, safety in America happens to be better than some other places. Actually, better than a few places. If the statistics show safety in America, I'm not going to throw numbers at you, but when you come here, you don't have to clutch your purse. When you come here, you don't have to worry about somebody, pushing you off the train. I know that that happens, but it doesn't happen as often as we like, as it shows on TV. Much more of America and her people are wonderful and welcoming and gracious and hospitable and helpful and loving. Much more of us are welcoming and open, and we can't wait to receive you. So, when we as Americans go and visit elsewhere, we need to make sure that when we go and visit elsewhere, we are also helpful and hospitable, not pushy. When we go to other places, we need to make sure as Americans you acknowledge the religion. Okay, yes, you may not agree. When you go to other places, you do not touch their special temples. You do not treat them any way you wish. You're not at home. Now, even at home in America, if you're American, you don't get to vandalize our special relics. So you don't get to do it elsewhere either. If you are a visitor visiting, you should behave as such. They have laws that you need to follow as a visitor. You follow the laws as everyone else. Matter of fact, as a visitor, you follow the laws even more. If you are going to rural areas do not have the same expectation as the cities. The cities in America, as we see, they're busy. Yes, the cities all over everywhere. Go to Kiev. You go to Johannesburg. You go to Rio. They're busy. But when you come out of those cities and you go into the rural areas, what may be called the village, the countryside, those lovely, wonderful citizens, they have their own set of rules. When you're going to visit outside of the city, you're even more respectful. You're even more quiet. You're even more sensitive. Same as when you come to the United States. So if you are coming and you are from, let's say, Pakistan. Uh, yes, I said Pakistan. However you are coming, for whatever reason, you might be thinking that the community that you're coming into, everyone there hates you. They don't. Most people in America, if you're coming from other places, most people are looking at the bad news, and they're thinking that everyone in America is ready to cut their head off or shoot them. Not the truth. The truth is, most people in America are working, or we're busy paying attention to our own affairs, or we are busy trying to make sure that you're not someone to be concerned about. We are cautious. Here in America, we like to know our neighbors. And so if you show yourself as someone who isn't someone to be worried about, you say, okay, so you smile. You smile at us and we don't say anything. Okay. It doesn't mean that we're ready to hurt you or shoot you. It just means that, okay, we see that you know how to smile. And the next time you see us, smile. Even after a while, the third or fourth time, say, hi, how are you? And eventually, same as everywhere else, we'll get used to you. We are not ready to fight you. Please don't be ready to fight us. If you're visiting to America, not every America has guns. Not every American wants to hurt you. Okay? Even though we do have a lot of things that are of ease in America, they are here giving ease to our life because we kind of thought about it ahead of time. We prepared ahead of time. And so because of that, we look out for it. Not that we don't want to share, we just look out for it. When we are visiting as Americans, when we are visiting other nations, if you want to go to Nigeria, wonderful, go to Nigeria. If you want to go to Morocco, go to Morocco. Wonderful, go to Morocco. Morocco has no problem with you. They only have a problem with you until you make yourself a problem. If you want to go to the Ukraine, go to the Ukraine. Wonderful. No problem. No other place has a problem with you until you make yourself a problem. In every culture, there is a way to behave. In every culture, there is a way to blend. In every culture, there is a way to become a problem. So I'm here to help you to see that whether you are visiting or whether you are going, there is a proper, better way to behave and have your best visit as safe and as fun as possible. How can you do that? Well, first, I'm on my third point. Third, pay attention to the welcome. If it's not a warm welcome, okay, then pay attention to that. Don't force it. You're a visitor. Pay attention that it's not a warm welcome. Lay low until you figure out what it is. It has nothing to do with you. They didn't plan the cold breeze for you. Lay low and see what's going on. Even in the most lovely of places, a lot of people want to go, are ready to go to Ghana. Ghana has turmoil. Ghana has a little bit of tribal warfare going on. It's okay. They're figuring it out. But as much as we see how beautiful Ghana is, there is an inner turmoil that has nothing to do with you, but you may hear, you may feel a breeze, a little bit of something going on about it. It doesn't mean it is you. You just have to know how to behave. Keep alert, keep aware. Also, the weather. If it is going to be hot and no one is complaining about the heat, do you think they want to hear you complain about the heat? Now, if everyone is complaining about the heat, if people say, "Oh, hello, how are you? It's hot," then you can say, "Oh, hello, how are you? Yes, it's hot." If people are coming and you are trying to have a conversation and you're talking and you're complaining about the heat and no one is complaining about the heat but you stand out. Clearly, you didn't prepare. Now, if that's the culture, maybe that's the culture, then feel free to talk about the heat. But I also suggest you bring this. Is my head back going back too far? I also suggest that you bring something to keep yourself covered. I use an umbrella faithfully. Okay, let me stop messing with my hair. I'm sorry, guys. I'm being sensitive about my hair. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to just be plain. And all right, where are you going? Um, Depending upon where you're going, you might want to investigate if there has been any turmoil, inner tribal issues. Those things matter. Here in America, you want to go to New Orleans, and you went to New Orleans. You decided not to go to New York because you just knew that New York was going to be so busy, and you just knew that New York was going to be more dangerous, and you decided to go to New Orleans. Things happen. What do? You lay low. You do what the other people do. You see how many people are how we react? You react how we react. It just so happens we're pretty safe. Cost of living. Wherever you are going, keep in mind cost of living. I am going to mention this. If we are foreign and we live, if we are coming from a first world nation and we're going to a third world nation, please keep in mind that you are coming and they know that you have more money than them. That you might want to consider their cost of living. Consider their cost of living, and when you are there, and you know that you are in a place where surviving off of your tourist money, please be sensitive. Be sensitive and maybe give a better tip. Be sensitive and maybe give a better tip. Be sensitive, and if you're going to Africa and you're getting your hair braided, and you know back over here the Dominicans charge at least 250 US, and you're going to a nation where the cost of living is lower, and you know those braids that they just charged you a fraction cost more. Don't they know? Don't do that. Be full of integrity and give a little more, because you really know you have it. When you're coming to America, if you are coming to America and you are on a budget, you can have a wonderful time in America. You can live quite well on a budget. I'm sorry, there's a lot of Americans that will tell you that they are struggling and suffering, and they are. That doesn't mean that there are a lot of Americans that are doing just fine. There are. They are. There aren't a lot of Americans that are rich, but out of the ones that are making it, that are working and having a decent paycheck and a regular paycheck, um, we're finding a way to be content and happy. How do we do that? Okay, on a budget. On a budget. I wonder if I should pull out my bangs. But on a budget, you can go and have wonderful trips. You can go and have wonderful uh, um, um, furnishings in your home. You can go and come to America and you can have a very lovely time on a budget. Now, what does that mean? That means that no, you probably will be looking at some public transportation. I'm an American and I do not own a car. I have a perfectly fine driver's license. I have no issues with driving. I have no anxiety. I also do not own a car. And guess what? It just so happens I live in America, and in America, I picked a place, I looked, and I decided where I'm going to stay, and where I decided to choose has everything I need, including regular public transportation. Right over there, about 100, maybe 100 feet, 200, no more than 500 feet, is very reliable public transportation that takes me everywhere I need to go. But it just so happens where I live, everything is nearby. I picked this place on purpose. I do not live in the city. I live 10 minutes outside of the city. And I live in a working class community. And I love my community. I love my community cafes. I support my local restaurants. I love the church that's nearby. I love my neighbors. We have regular visits quarterly with each other to keep in touch with each other. We have potlucks. We celebrate summer in the park. We have a little park. We have cookouts. That is America also. That's more America than what a lot of TV is showing, a lot of social media is showing. There's a lot of happy Americans here. I'm sorry for those that aren't, but there are a lot of happy Americans. So when you come, and when you do come, I hope you find us, because we can't wait to host you. And when you are just so happen to be visiting other places, because maybe you are ready to visit other places, when you visit other places, you might want to consider also public transportation. I know that a lot of people aren't that sure about it. But in other civilized nations, they have great public transportation. And when you're on their train, be mindful that they can tell you're foreign. Foreign stands out. Everyone knows the foreign person, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't smell, or maybe you do. Maybe you put on too much perfume. Maybe your cologne, because the culture that you are in doesn't really do heavy scents. And you didn't realize that you have sprayed 3 sprays too many of your cologne. That might be why some Asian cultured people are kind of standing away from you. If you happen to be a person of color and you're going to a community, a culture where they don't have very many people of color, they are going to look at you. You are beautiful. You are a rare unicorn. And they have a curiosity. It is a bit rude sometimes. It can be rude. It will feel intrusive. They are coming for their curiosity, and it cannot, sometimes they cannot be thinking about you. Very curious about from their own point of view. Now, what do you say? What do you say? You put your hands up and you go like this. You put your hands up and you do the air push back. That is a universal gesture. Whoa, whoa. And you just simply back up. It's okay. You do not yell, you don't fuss. You just realize that they are curious, and right at that moment, you just might be a little bit like not a pet, but something they've never seen before, especially our black hair. It is a texture of hair. Where would they get a chance to see it? So something about you makes them think that they can touch you. Something about you seems so open and friendly. And so they are approaching because something about you gave them that signal to approach. If you are uncomfortable, it's okay to say, whoa. When you are outside of the US, just because you are visiting and just because you get uncomfortable, you don't get to react any kind of way you want to. There is a proper way to even be angry. There is not, everybody gets angry. There's just a proper way to do it. Everybody gets angry. There is a proper way to do it. You can even, first of all, I'm a Christian. The Bible says you need a witness. Record. Record. If you have a phone, keep your battery charged everywhere you go. Now I'm talking about safety. I'm switching over to safety. As an American female, I've traveled alone many times, and I have had a couple of moments where I had to be concerned about my safety. I kept my friend, my phone. I kept someone on my phone. I kept 911, 811, whatever the emergency number is in the country you're visiting. You need to know that. You need to know if there's an English version. You need to practice dialing it before you go, before you need the policia. You need to know when you call policia if they're going to, if they know English. If you don't know Italian, policia is going to be limited to help you. You need to know a little bit more before you go. It's not just showing up. Hello. It is 2025 now. We have the ability to have a lot of information. Showing up naive, big-eyed, and ignorant is not acceptable anymore. It is much more acceptable to show up respectable. How do we show up respectful and respectable? Is we show up acting like we know how to act. We show up with our hair. I went to Saudi Arabia. When I went to Saudi Arabia, I was alone. Did I go looking like I just stepped out of a party? Never. No. What do we know about Saudi Arabia? Okay, I don't know anything. What do I know about Saudi Arabia? I know nothing. But what I do know is I don't want to disrespect them. So I go humble. I go humble. I'm Christian. What do I have on my head? What am I wearing? I go humble. I'm not, I'm not. When I go, this is how I go. All right? I go partially covered. I go respectful. When I go, who do I talk to? I talk to the women. I am a woman. If there is a woman around me, okay, so this is how I went. I went head covered. No, they can tell I'm not from there, but I went respectful. When I went and I had an issue, I found a woman. If I couldn't find a female to talk to, because as a female, I didn't want to in any way offend anyone. If I couldn't find a female to answer my questions regarding where I'm going, if I have this gate or that gate, then I found a person who is in the specific status, position, job to answer questions. So if I have a question regarding my ticket, I don't go talking to the cleaner man at the um, or the restaurant person, and I start chatting him. No, there's a person at the airline kiosk right here. That's who I talk to. I know my question. I answer my question. I ask my question. I get my answer. I go. When I want to move around, I move around. I didn't have a problem with moving around, but I also didn't entertain conversation. I wasn't loud. I wasn't flashy. You know how much gold they are selling at the airports? Just even before I even got out of the airport, I was like, oh, do I spend a little money? I kept my money in my pocket. I kept my money in my pocket because I'm a single traveling female and I didn't need any issues. I didn't need anyone knowing how much money I had. And so, yeah, I asked a question about it. I asked, how do I get it online? I asked the ease of ordering. I made notes and I went and found a snack. I went and found a beautiful shop that answered all of my questions. And I found a lovely snack to eat. And I found a beautiful place quietly to sit. And I quietly watched. And the only people I had conversations with, full conversations with, were women. And they were wonderful. I had wonderful conversations. I paid note of where I was. And I was respectful. Didn't matter where you go in the globe. If you act civilized, they will treat you civilized. But you don't get to pick what civilized means. You look and you observe and you find out what civilized and how to behave from where you're at. You don't look on TikTok. You don't get some ideas. You get your information, but when you get there, you still come subdued. You come as a lady or a gentleman ready to learn more because what you have just realized and what you have just learned is nothing like the real thing. When you get there is when you start to learn. When you get there, you start to realize that the language that they are saying is not the language that you speak. The language you've been practicing on YouTube is not the language that they speak, the dialect they speak. You are going to be learning all over again. But now you have a little bit more insight because now you get the smell. Now you get the taste of what you thought that kebab was supposed to taste like. Now you know what the kebab is going to taste like. And then you go to the next shop and the next shop and the next shop and you learn more. So let's say, for example, you are looking, I'm looking at my notes. Let's say, for example, you are looking to go to Morocco. You are looking at having business. You're looking at having business in Morocco. And what makes Morocco interesting is because, first of all, it is a modern nation. It is welcomed with trade by the U.S. You want to start business there, it's relatively easy. It's not easy. There is a process, but the process is not difficult. They have open trading for those who want to openly trade. Simply follow the process, and they have no problems with trading and you doing business there. So you go to Morocco and you find a wonderful, it's called flat, also known as apartment. It's above a family. Yes, because in Morocco the family structure is not the same as here in America. And you start living your 3 month stay in Morocco. You find everything lovely. The food is lovely. Everything is lovely. What will you find looking at you? You're going to find reasonable accommodation. You are going to find, when I say reasonable, because again, we're traveling on a budget. I'm I am going to be referring to lower cost of items, because if you have money, then you can go whatever you want, however you want. But if you're on a budget, then you really want to be sensitive. You're sensitive. So you can easily find a 2 bedroom reasonable, what we would call reasonable apartment, 2 bedroom apartment for 200-300 US dollars per month. Outside, the food, delicious. Water, delicious. Culture. Culture you are going to find is more, it's not limited, it's not restricted. It's simply, it has a very set structure and culture. In Morocco, as a female, there is the general, the main religion is Islam. So Islamic women, Islamic men move differently than each other. If you are traveling as a male, you will hear things, see things, smell things, experience things differently as traveling in Morocco as a female. Um, Dating as a male in Morocco. Moroccan men are probably going to be sensitive that you're taking away one of their Moroccan beauties. Wouldn't you? You would be concerned about someone taking away one of their beauties? Well, yeah, sure. Family structure is very important for almost every culture on the globe, not just American culture, if you're American going overseas. So consider the culture specifically when you're dating. If you are interested in a woman of another culture, there are going to be things specifically, let's say hygiene. Hygiene is very different for a lot of other cultures. And speaking of hygiene, this is a perfect time for me to um, tell you about one of the wonderful products that I have available for hygiene. If you happen to be traveling, no matter where you are on the globe, no one accepts smelling anymore. And I really would like to go ahead and send this one over to my lovely president, because Mr. Trump, no one accepts smelling anymore. This lovely product right here is called AfGuard. AfGuard. Guard the af. Guard the front too. Spray, 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 spray. Instant shower. Why is it important? No matter where you are, no matter who you are. It is sensitive for all religions. It is kosher. It is a green tea. It is a green tea formula, sensitive for all body parts and powerful for all body parts. No longer will smelling be acceptable for you, because if you even get a hint of something, we're not going to put on a deodorant. We're going to AfGuard, instant shower, spray it away. This bottle comes concentrated. So, a free bottle. Yes, a travel bottle comes with you. The travel bottle, you simply pour your concentrated mix into it. I already have mine 50%, a little bit more, because I've learned how strong I need my AfGuard. And the little bottle goes in my purse. The little bottle goes in my purse or in your book bag, your briefcase. Yes, you start out your day smelling wonderful. But as you go through the day, you may need to freshen up. Instead of putting on deodorant and expecting some deo to keep you clean, just be clean. Instant shower, Afgard. You're going to be able to find all these items that I'll be speaking of on the website. Okay, so when you're moving around and you might be dating a woman of Islamic background, she might come over and ask you for a little bowl. She wants to go to the bathroom. And she may say, "Do you have a cup?" The cup is because she wants to freshen herself. She actually wants to clean her body after using the restroom. Clean is not a thing. Clean is what we're supposed to be, not deodorized. So, one of the reasons why I made this product is when I was traveling and living in Botswana. Hello, everyone from Botswana. How are you? I created Afgard because of the water shedding. What is water shedding? Water shedding is the act of the government municipalities um, using the act of cutting off certain services so at certain times of the day, so that at other times of the day when it's most needed, those services are available. In Botswana, the land surrounded by desert, the beautiful land of desert, the Kalahari Desert, the beautiful Botswana people. Well, when I was there, yeah, a sister wanted to take a bath. I wanted to take a bath, and water shedding happened. Well, luckily, where I live, Botswana, the beautiful nation, it didn't have an issue as bad as other areas, and so the water would only be limited during the height of the day. I got my bath eventually. But the truth is there is this issue in a lot of nations overseas. Puerto Rico. Was Puerto Rico New Year's Eve in a blackout? That is also a kind of shedding, except that's called load shedding for electricity. So, depending upon where you're located, it doesn't even have to do with unrest, civil unrest. It's simply because the nation you're visiting, the country you're visiting, maybe they have grown so much. And because they've grown so much, they have the wonderful issue now of having too much need. Because they have too much need, they have to find a way to supply. So they cut back over here so that they can supply over there. And sometimes in some nations, the cutback is to supply business. So again, be very careful of where you're going. Look at the news. Look at more than the hype about what's being spoken about. So that's a con of when you're traveling. Water shedding and load shedding for electricity. That actually can be a negativity and hurt your trip. Keep that in mind. Um, Another con of simply traveling outside of the US, there are a variety of scams. We're getting scammed in unique ways, but one of the ways that I found was a little bit uncomfortable when I traveled was friendship scams. I am saying it. Once you open your mouth and a person realizes that you are from a higher nation, a more established nation, I call it a friendship scam because you will find out a year later that the person really wasn't interested in being your friend. And I'm not talking about a lover. I'm not even talking about business. I'm saying in general, a friendship scam where you thought that this person was someone you could rely on and as a friend, and no, it didn't quite happen as you were giving. They weren't giving, they were receiving. You are a star in the sky for many people. If you're coming from an elevated country, there is a a kind of a fawning over. And if you are not cautious, you are thinking that all of these people are liking you. They may be. They really may be. And then there are those that are just trying to woo you so that they can see how they can get a job from you, how they can date your daughter, how they can get inside your house to see if there's something that they can steal. Not everyone, but I call it a friendship scam. All right, be considered be it. I call it a friendship scam because don't we want to go somewhere and be received with open arms? Of course we do. And that emotion, that want, that need can be played upon. I am sorry. I touched on another con earlier with the police in Italy. Um, so may I go back to that? If you are in Italy and you are a person of color, I am saying this specifically for you. It's a beautiful place, rich in history. And that history does include a little bit of shady, a little bit of messy, and it still is. There is some turmoil going on with the politics over in Italy. Wonderful place, beautiful people. But there's a little bit of messy there too. So when you're going, don't get upset. You've been warned. It's a beautiful place, wonderful people. If you don't know Italian, they're probably talking about you behind your back. Okay, so how do you go? When you go to Italy, what do you look for? Well, first of all, they have businesses that actually cater to visitors and they offer you guides. I suggest you find someone. And I'm not saying that I want you to pay someone, but I'm saying pay someone because you won't get friendship scammed that way. It's actually their business. You can kind of believe what they're telling you and giving you advice on if it's paid until you get a little bit more familiar with Italy. The south of Italy, closer to the Mediterranean, closer to Africa, they may be more sensitive to people of color. Northern Italy, it really is just depending upon how much you know the language, how well you come. You come like a lady from Milan, even with the most beautiful, brownest of skin, they're going to give you a little bit of kickback, a little bit until you open your mouth and you start dropping that beautiful Italian. Yes, then they're going to say, oh, maybe she's somehow one of us. This is how we have to come. We have to come more than just visitors. Hey, that doesn't work anymore. They kind of don't want to be bothered with your money. They don't have to. So if you're coming, you got to come prepared to really be a worthy guest, or else they're going to kind of treat you like a pain. And that kind of can go generally for wherever you want to go in the world because we have now evolved globally, and now TikTok and Instagram and YouTube has happened. And we, as far as humans on the globe are starting to see that other humans do know how to act better. And if we, meaning those who are supposed to be evolved, the evolved are supposed to act better and know better and be better. So when you're going other places and you do not do that, it's instantly a kind of a disappointment. Instantly you become that. Yes, you're that stereotype. Okay. So now you know that you have to behave. What are some of the pros? Because I've been talking about a lot of cons, I think. Well, just about everywhere you go on the globe, there is investment opportunities. just about everywhere there is investment opportunities. How do you get them? By being a lady or a gentleman, of course. You have to no longer think that just because you speak a certain language, you're going to get. No, now you have to come with information. We are in the information age. Information is power. No, we're not in the information age. We're in the AI age, which is why I'm real. I'm coming to you real with information. So, one of the wonderful things that I would like to let you know about is all of this information that I am giving you. It's just a little bit. I'm really just sharing tips, but for in-depth information about the specific place you are getting ready to go, to make sure that you are successful and safer and have the most fun possible, I want you to go ahead and sign up with me and go ahead and get the boot camp class or the one-on-one VIP. Yes, VIP coaching. Um, because what I can give you is a Zoom class. The Zoom class is not quite as yummy though, because in person we actually will have foods and tastes, and that's we go over the music. We actually go real in depth of the place you're going. That's with the VIP coaching, and that's what you get with the one-on-one. I mean, Zoom is nice, and I want you to Zoom with me. I want you to get the Zoom VIP Zoom coaching with me. So you got to find the link. It'll be at the end of the live. But yeah, it's nice, but you can't smell it on the yummy things that we're going to be tasting, the yummy things we're going to be having. But you got to come in person for that. Okay, so that one, I am looking for you and your friends to talk about, to share and come on in and visit, because the price includes four. So your whole family wants to go to Ghana? Good. The price includes you, your wife, and your kids, and up to four, you and your three, or you and three of your friends. You all want to go? Then you all get together and do the Zoom, or get together and come to the boot camp. Um, so other than that, how will you know what place to go? There are other signs that you can look for. So one of the things that I would say look for as a positive, the food. The food. Places where you will find the talk is the food is so yummy. People aren't crazy. If the food ain't good, it ain't good. You don't have lines outside of places that don't serve good food. Yeah, okay, some places if they're unique food. But generally, if food is good at an establishment, it has signs that it's good. So, one of the things that you can use as a tool to figure out where to go in the globe is figure out YouTube best places, highest rated food rates, food reviews. Start there. And you'll be surprised. And you can go there. For example, I am starting with Michelin star restaurants, 1 star. So I have on my list a list of all the Michelin 1 star restaurants around the globe I would like to visit. And I'm going to slowly go up to 2, and then 3 stars, and then 4 stars, and so forth. And so if a place that you're looking to visit, the food is constantly talked about, don't eat the food, 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 don't eat the food. That's a sign for me. That's a sign for me. Because if they're saying don't eat the food, don't eat the food, don't eat the food, don't eat the food, to me that says then that the infrastructure means that there isn't sanitary water services. It says that for me, it says that the culture doesn't take into consideration sanitary practices. And so, yes, the food is very important. It's one of the ways, one of the tools you can use to help determine a place that's good for you to go or not. Also, um, the very good welcoming. When I first went to Africa, I will have to tell you that it was wonderful. I was ready to go. I always knew I wanted to go. But one of the first surprises that I got was coming from America. I get onto the plane, and I'm on this big plane. All right, so let me back up. Um, it was I don't think Boeing, the Airbus wasn't made then. It wasn't an Airbus, so it wasn't that big. So I get on the plane and I'm ready, and it's a 17-hour ride, and I'm a little bit afraid, okay? But I know I'm going and I know I'm going. I'm a little bit afraid. On international flights, alcohol is free and unlimited. On international flights back then, now remember, this was 25 years ago, 30, 27 years ago. And I do believe they're still free. So on this international flight, the hostess comes. Hello, ma'am. What would you like to drink? And she says, would you like a soda or alcoholic beverage? And I said, well, what would you like? She said, well, we can easily offer you a Bloody Mary or a gin and tonic, or I have bottles of wine. And I said, well, let's go healthy. And I had a Bloody Mary. Boop, boop, boop. The little, the little small bottles she mixed, gave me a little, no celery, of course. Delicious. Delicious. Take off. We get into the air. I feel nothing. I enjoy the first 2, 3 hours like a breeze. Now, for international flights, it didn't. It tends to be overnight. Generally, an overnight flight. Now, think about it. You're also going backwards in the time zones, and so in order to coincide with um, 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 flights that you may be needing to transfer to, they want to try to get you to your next destination like by 6 in the morning. And so overnight tends to be um, when these flights leave. So right away, they feed you, they give you drink, and they want to dim the lights in the cabin and it's dark. So, man, I mean, basically, they tuck me into bed nicely. So for those that don't know, they give you a blanket. They give you a little, this is economy. Okay, this is economy. I'm small. I'm small. I'm only 4 feet. I'm not even 5 feet tall. And so I was very comfortable. They give you, as part of your ticket, a blanket and in a little travel kit. In the travel kit, it's about this size. It's always the same size. It's going to be socks, a toothbrush, a little travel tube of toothpaste, um, eye cover, and something else, maybe a mint. Okay. So when you first get on the plane, they give you all this stuff to get cozy. I'm a tiny bit tipsy and I'm starting to look around my plane. At first I noticed that even though I'm going to Africa, I am one of out what 200 people, I am probably one of 10 people of color. Now I'm American. I'm going to Africa. I'm okay with being around a lot of Caucasian people. I just wasn't ready for that, I guess. I just knew the plane would be full of other black people. It wasn't. So, the meals on the plane, lovely. I am not that picky. The food was not too salty. It wasn't first class, but it was fine. It was sufficient. It was hot, and I never got sick off of airplane food. And by the way, if you find that you are still hungry, ask the stewardess. Was there a meal that the rest of the group of people didn't really care for? Is there a leftover? 9 times out of 10, there's some leftover fish. If you happen to like fish and the chicken that you ordered wasn't enough, they will give you more. You just have to be nice and ask. Do not ask for the water straight out the tap, please. That water is water that I would not consider drinking. So when you're on the plane, I would suggest let them make you a mixed drink if you happen to be okay with having alcohol. You are more than welcome to not overdo. Please don't overdo. No one wants to be sitting next to the drunk because you had too many gin and tonics, just because they're free. No one wants to be sitting next to you because you had too many Bloody Marys, just because they're free. That's not nice. And it's a bit rude and insensitive. Also, if you don't know how to behave on the plane and you get too intoxicated, they will be within right to take you off the plane at the next stop. And the majority of the rest of the people in the cabin with you, also traveling with you, will be so happy to get you off that plane if you are interrupting their visit, their flight. So on the plane, I am happily comfortable, toasty in my little blanket. I had my Bloody Mary, and I am looking at the lovely little screen in front of me with the 5,000 movies of all kinds. I had no idea. And I'm hearing this language. Blinky, blonky, bunka, blunka, and I am like, oh, that is so interesting. I've never heard Afrikaans before. And I still think it's a fake language. That's just my personal opinion because I don't know how they made up these words, but it's a real language. Afrikaans is real. Yes. And I am just feeling so overwhelmed with all the culture that I'm experiencing and I'm about to go into. Now, again, on this plane of maybe 200 other people, I am maybe one of only 10 people of color. And none of us are talking, but all of the Africans are talking. And it's lovely. And I am just so excited. And then I get off the plane and open the door to the OR Tambo Airport. And I walk into a sea of color. And I think I cried. There was nothing like coming from the land of snow to the land of color and tropical lushness and of what I could say just only could be Africa. When I landed in South Africa in OR Tambo Airport, everywhere there was not, I don't even think there was a white person in there. I didn't see any. All of a sudden it completely flipped. It went from all snow to beautiful color. And I was overwhelmed. It was one of the best feelings I ever had in my life. Um, it was magnificent. The sounds I heard went from blinky blonky to clicks. It was everything I dreamed Africa could be. And I knew from then that there was so much more for me to learn. And I still am learning. And I needed to respect all of it. And so this is why I'm here today. I am asking for every person who is interested, no matter where you are going. If you are coming to the United States, come with respect. If you are going to Africa, go with respect. Go humble. Go willing to learn. If you're coming, come open. America is a wonderful place. But we are human. We're not super freaks. I don't know where that came from. That is, yeah, that's a song by Rick James. We're not super freaks. We actually are, majority of us are religious, down to earth people. when you come, we all don't curse. We don't. When you come, we are unique in our own unique way, but please note that there is a way to behave. No different than when you are visiting your elders. I ask that you give that same respect to us. And those that are going over to Mother Africa, give her utmost respect. First and foremost, she's always been fine without us. And so we have to stop thinking that Mother Africa needs so much of us to come up with ideas to fix her. She already knows what she needs to fix her. Maybe we need to go listening. Maybe we need to go with the idea of how to help her. Then, when we're there, we can see what we have to bring, to give, to assist her. Instead of thinking we have what she needs, how do we know if we're not even asking? So, as someone who loves all people, and I really do, it now makes sense because I did my ancestry DNA. And so because I did my DNA, I feel like I understand me better. Why do I have this wonderful comfort around all people of color? Because I have blood from Denmark in me. I have blood from wonderful Pakistani area, Bengali blood in me. I have Bantu blood in me. And so it just so happens I've been to these places. And I live as a woman of color in America. And no, I may not know exactly where I come from, but I do have a real good idea. And if you are coming or going to any of these places, there is a easier and a better way how to get there and how to thrive there. And of course, why keep it all to myself? Why? I want you to also find peace and comfort and happiness in yourself wherever you are. So if you want to come to America, and I'm sorry there's a lot of unhappy Americans here, but the American dream is real. It looks differently though. It doesn't look like a BMW for everyone. The American dream, I don't own a car. I don't want to own a car. I rent whenever I want. Oh, yes, I rent a car whenever I want. I want to go camping. It's snowing out, but this summer when I went camping, I rented an SUV. I don't want a car because I happen to live in America where everything that I do need, if I have the resources, the time, the planning, and the savings, the money and investment, I have figured out that most likely it can happen with time, savings, planning, and investment. And I don't think that's the American dream. I just think that's good planning, no matter where you are on the globe. So, also, just because I'm in America doesn't mean that I don't do my own hair. I do. I do my own hair. I do a lot of my own maintenance on my house. And the house that I own is not big. I have a very small house, perfectly sized just for me and my last born child. But 5, 6, 7 people, come on in. I can accommodate maybe 5, but not too many because my house is a little too small. I only have 1 bathroom. But come on, you can visit. My little house might be small on the outside, but it's big on the inside. And as a happy Black American woman who happens to not own a car, who happens to have connection to Botswana, beautiful Botswana. I can't wait to get there. I'm coming, Botswana. But until then, how do you make where you're at be the best place for you? That is another video. That is another channel. Oh, I have five, by the way. I have five different channels. One for food, taste and see. One for literacy, read between the lines. Tiger Bell Watkins, the Sage Mouse, here. This video is probably going to be uploaded to that site, to that channel. I also have Afia Wellness and Skincare Company. Just to let you know, all the products that I sell on that I have created and make on my website are what? Researched and developed by real people. This particular product for women who might be having issues after sexual intercourse with their husband, this product that I've created here helps you snap back because he may not understand your issues. You need to understand your issues. I have products for that. This particular lubrication has real aloe vera for healing and soothing for that healing and soothing property, on the inside. Yeah, because he ain't gonna understand if you tell him wait. He ain't understand that he's the one that made you smell funny. You have to understand until he does. This vitamin C cream. This vitamin C cream that I've created. Yes, it's a vitamin C cream that I've created. Right here, started with my tiger oil. Oh, same product. How do we get there, ladies? You're not gonna be spending hundreds, $200 on those products. I'm gonna show you how to make them yourself. You're gonna have that American dream right where you are. Oh, you need a sunblock because you're fair skinned. Maybe you're fair skinned like me, and people are, because the light skin it can burn. Well, I have a day cream. I have a day cream, ladies and gentlemen, for people with fair skin that includes sunblock. I have a night cream for those who are trying to keep those wrinkles from piling up on you. Now, wait. These are for people who need those. But for my younger generation, I want you to come with me and let me show you what to eat. Because I'm not saying that I'm all that pretty, but I'm saying for 50 plus, those products are only after I've eaten well. Those products I use now after 3 kids and 50 plus years on the earth. But until before that, it was what was I eating? Yes, there is pretty foods. There are pretty foods that you need to be eating so that you don't have to worry about the wrinkles and so much of those other Caucasian issues. And in the meantime, if you do want some of these products, I can teach you how to make them yourself. Save all that money. Save all that money. That's on a different channel. So, if you are coming to America, come. We can't wait to have you. Americans, we love people. We are a melting pot. We are happy. We are not afraid that everybody's going to come and take our stuff. No, not all Americans are mean and angry and hurtful. Not all of us. There's a whole lot of us who can't wait to show you the wonderful parts of America. In the meantime, if you're going someplace wonderful, make sure you go as a good guest. You don't get to show up like you're the cousin from around the corner. You, as a visitor, you're going to remain a visitor until you know how to act. And there are whether you like it or not, there are certain ways you have to act if you want people to accept you. No visitor gets to come and behave any kind of way they want. So, I ask you, if you want to know before you go, don't you want to sign up for the boot camp? And I also say thank you for joining me. I don't even know how long this has been, but I appreciate everyone that has joined me. I think I see a couple people. I see a few people that, well, everyone that has joined, I appreciate you. My next video is going to be concerning specific skincare products. If you would like to learn how to make them yourself, then make sure you look for that next video. Because the great American dream, do you know why so many Americans are having a hard time? Is because they are spending their money, their hard-earned money, on these things that are costing them that they don't have to. So, how about I help you have that American dream right where you are? Yes. And it starts with knowing that you can have it right where you are. You don't have to have the American dream. You don't have to be in America to have wonderful dreams. Whatever you dream, I can help you make your dreams come true right where you are. Because to be honest, most Americans are faking. Is that another video too? Most Americans are faking. They are drowning. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. A lot of Americans are unhappy. They have these really high expectations, and they pulled away from a lot of the what was called old-fashioned ways, and they are having a hard time. And I am so sorry for my fellow Americans who are having a hard time. I am. But for those who are outside of America, who know that they can do better, you don't have to come to America. We can teach you right where you are. You can thrive right where you are. So, join me. Look for my other videos. Become part of my soul tribe. And I am going to share everything I know. Okay? And for those of you that did join me, I thank you. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. I will be having other videos specifically talking about traveling to Botswana. I have family in Botswana that I am sharing a lot of information with, specifically this information, because until I get there, I want them to have the best life they can have. And if I can't get there and show it to them, then at least I can show it to them this way until I can get there. This is all I can do. So, bye for now. Do I say ciao? Because I do say ciao for now. Ciao for now. Thank you for joining me.